Liza Looser, along with Rick Looser, they are in-the-house CEO, Cirlot Agency. It's Liza, not Lisa. I'm sorry.
Good job.
That's okay.
Thank you, Rick. And did you bring your Mountain Dew, by the way?
I'm on my second one right now, Paul.
I had a meeting with one of the many physicians who said it's got too much caffeine. I must drop my Mountain Dew. So that's not good news. I wouldn't want the doctor to tell you that.
Now, you still do diet, don't you?
Yes.
No, I've never done that. I do the real thing.
Liza, I don't see how he's still walking around here. He should be floating or flying one way or the other.
Absolutely correct. I don't know. I don't know how his heart even works right now.
That's all that's keeping me together.
First of all, congratulations, guys. I think Liza and I had a chance to talk about this earlier when you were on before, but it is officially 40th anniversary of being in business, and saying that today is a monumental applause should be given. But your thoughts looking back on this now, either one of you?
Oh, it is just, humbling, nothing but the hand of God, I believe, that blessed us for 40 years. Never thought that we would, start off where we were, and then now we work in all 50 states, every continent, and other than Antarctica. And, it's cold there. I'm not going. I don't want to go. But we have been blessed beyond measure.
Yeah, we actually, the quick story of how we met was at a ad convention. I lived in Tuscaloosa. She lived here, and it was in Baton Rouge. I saw her across the room, took a Zap photographer over with me and stood next to her and put my arm around her and told the photographer, said, take a picture of the night we met so I'll be able to show it to our children. And I think 8 months later, we were married.
Wow.
And we have worked together for almost 37 years. And so I said this at our party the other night, that people that don't know us will say, oh, my goodness, as a married couple, how do y'all work together like that? But the people that know us look at us and go, how in the world do you work with him every day?
Listen, my wife and I worked together for a long, long time in ownership and elsewhere. That's how we met. So you're absolutely positive. It takes a special woman. That's all I can tell you.
It does.
Rick, you have been blessed.
I have, no doubt. Everybody else says that, too.
As much as I. Started off, Liza, with $78, a
That's
check
right.
for $78.
How about it? Yeah, and it was a state income tax return check. I got a busting $78 back.
Wow.
And went to the bank, and, and the thing that I loved the most was the banker, when I opened up the account, she had to get permission because it was a $100 minimum. And so anyway, she was asking me what I was going to do. I was so enthusiastic about, my vision and hope for the future. And so when she got all of the paperwork together, she handed it over to me and said, go get them, Tiger. And actually our entire theme and party and mascot for the firm is a tiger, and so we had a lot of fun with it at the party when we celebrated last week.
Rick, what were you doing when you met Liza? You said you were in sales, or?
Yeah, I was in Tuscaloosa. I'd been the PR director for the Alabama Poison Control Center back before the internet and Google, when little children would eat something and their mothers would freak out and take them to the emergency room. We kept them from doing that by identifying what it was and telling them that they were going to be okay or what to do, and did that. And then I went into advertising sales. I sold billboards. And if you can sell billboards, you can sell ice to Eskimos, and I made a great living at it. And we were going to live in Meridian, and because I couldn't really quit the job I had. But as you know, Paul, in this industry, the January 1st, they came out with a new and improved sales commission structure that was new to me and improved for the company. And we decided to not do the Meridian thing, so I moved here with no intention of working together. And then we had a crisis with a client, and that's kind of what I was doing at the time, and so I started with that, and they've just kept me doing something every day since then.
Liza, did you know the scope of what you wanted to do or where you wanted to take an advertising agency, though? I mean, at that age?
I did. Hands down, I did. Always had a vision for it, and always had basically a global vision of being able to do work all over the world. And very ambitious, I know. I didn't talk about it a lot because it was, who could do that. But I've always had a bigger vision than just being, a local firm, because I think it's important to take companies out to the rest of the world so that you can bring that back home, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You look at what you define as an advertising agency today from 40 years ago. It's not even near the same animal.
No, we were actually talking on the way here that we were doing some cleaning like people do of an attic and found a magazine, Mississippi Business Journal or Jackson Journal of Business, I think it was, and Liza was on the cover of the advertising agency edition from 1989, and we went and looked at the list of agencies, and in Jackson there were 38 advertising agencies.
Yes.
Legitimate ad agencies. These are not freelancers. These are legitimate office ad agencies. And today, in the whole state, there might be 5 full-service agencies left. And it's changed completely, technology and other things, but it was fun to look back.
And to that point, Liza, when you start looking at them now, you don't see a lot of startups. People are not even getting into the business like they used to, unless, they're doing it in a one-horse shop.
That's right. And so, with social media, you can specialize and go into different avenues. But if you want to be a full service, that's social media, web designing, coding, programming, PR, all of this, media buying, account management. It takes a full team, and so that's a very expensive proposition. So you have to have clients that can fund that.
I think we're different animals in a way, but much like other people doing sales. But I know in this business, our greatest high that we get when we have that feeling, that euphoric feeling, is when we get back with a client and they've had good results on it. They are pleased with it.
Absolutely.
They had a great sale. I don't care if it was a local guy on Oak Street or whatever it happens to be. When they said, man, it was fantastic. That's where you get your high.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a money thing. It is a success for someone else or for another organization, and you think, great job.
Yeah. Let's talk about this area when you really had the grips in the road and you were going full speed and you started to grow, and all of a sudden you got a client that was, by everybody's measure, a big fish. And what were your thoughts then? Maybe somebody global, or just somebody who was more than just in the metro area.
Yeah, that would probably be Ingalls Shipbuilding.
Well, I would think that would do it.
Well, the thing about Ingalls is we worked with them for 35 years. And Jim McInville there and Jerry St. Pé. Jerry St. Pé was the CEO. He's the only CEO I ever have met that started in the PR department, because that's not where they go shopping for CEOs of the largest employer in the state of Mississippi. But we worked with them, and they gave us a lot of opportunities. And from there, it was Taylor Machine Works and Sanderson Farms. And they were kind of our holy trinity that we built the agency on, with good people. Joe Sanderson, can't say enough about him, Lex Taylor. Those guys just put family first. They ran it in the way that they treated people like they wanted to be treated. And in big companies, with publicly traded companies, we worked for a lot of those, then a lot of that's lost. And so it was a lot of fun doing business with people that had worldwide reach right here in Mississippi.
Well, I need 2 hours, and we only got another segment. This is not fair, but I was going to say McInville and I crossed paths like you guys did.
Yeah.
We both work in the same radio station once at WBLE. And I didn't know him. He told me that a little bit later on.
How about that?
I want to ask you about the global part of it. Where are you there? And also the divisions as far as advertising something and PR and troubleshooting, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
There are a lot of divisions that people don't realize. We'll talk about that in final segment coming up next. You got to tell the story about Bo Jackson I just heard about.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Very short.
So
Very
great.
short.
I umpired in Alabama for about 15 years, T-ball to college. And I was actually umpiring McAdory. And this kid hits just a candy hopper to shortstop. I'm ready to ring him up, and he beats it by 2 steps. Next time he gets up, he hits it to second base and still beats it by a step. Third time he gets up, he hits a home run that I thought was going to take my head off. I was out in the field behind the pitcher. Never got over about 6 feet, and it went 500 feet, 500 yards. So he comes out with his glove, and I said, "Hey, man, come here." He comes over, and I said, "What?" I tell you what, I said, if you keep practicing and you keep doing this, there's probably, you could probably get a scholarship at a junior college somewhere. He just nodded, and I said, "Tell me your name. I want to remember it." And he said, "My name is Bo Jackson." And I said, "Well, Bo, I'm going to remember your name because I think you may be able to play college ball one day." And so I'm widely known for my ability to spot talent from a
Yes, and encouragement also. In a wife and a baseball football player, so you did quite well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Paul, for putting me in the same category as Bo Jackson. You've made my day.
Globally, because we talk globally, is it aeronautics or what is it?
It is aerospace defense, and so our clients are, for instance, Leonardo DRS. Leonardo is headquartered out of Rome, Italy, and we are handling their overall brand and business development support. Then TT Electronics is right outside of London, England. Martin Baker as well. They are the ejection seats for the F-35 for pilots. Helmet-mounted displays and vision is Elbit Systems. They are based in Haifa, Israel. And
so how many offices do you have there around?
We have 2 offices, and so our offices are here and headquartered here, and that was very important to us, and in Washington, D.C., and that's, mainly where all of our meetings are.
Is it like at Ingalls or maybe Sanderson Farms, mostly in the PR part of that, or is it elsewhere?
Overall brand development,
Just
business
brand
development support, and public relations. It's equally, measured out, I guess. Obviously, crisis management is a big deal of what we do, and that's Rick's area of specialty. But we have, we've worked, and we feel like that area of specialty of aerospace defense is something that we can certainly grow out from years,
Rick, you talked about baseball. Baseball is kind of built on on analytics. In data here, as far as Arbitron, all of this, and then what a customer wants, what is he or she thinking? How can we get a little space in their mind? Has AI changed this, or is it being used in the advertising agency?
It's being used extensively. But beyond AI, I mean, there's just great measuring tools. And when we first started, we'd run a full-page ad in the Clarion Ledger and meet with the client the next week and go, I think it did well. I think people liked it. And that was as much as we had to get measured by. Whereas today, one of our great clients is Shared Health, and we have a twice a month we meet with them and go over every single call, when it was generated, what ad ran that time, where it was on, when they went on the website, at what point did they leave the website. It's just unbelievable how much we can drill down and find out everything about what our message is doing, to the point where if we start with 3 ads, after 4 or 5 days, we'll drop 2 of them and start running the one that's getting the most hits exclusively. Things that we could never do before.
Yeah, sounds like Walmart. Put 3 products of like value on and find out exactly which one is incrementally selling the best.
And I will say the thing about that is we've got such a great team. We've got 5 folks that have been with us for over 30 years, and so they were babies like us when we started. And but then, as a shout out and a complete kind of slap in the face to the reputation that the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds might have, we have got a whole nother set of employees that are coming up that really are kind of the ones that are building the agency for the future. And so we've kind of got the best of both worlds when it comes to those who, and they're the ones that I call in and say, hey, what button do I hit to make it do that? You know, they go, move, get out of the way, I'll show you, you know, that kind of stuff.
I learned something from the 7-year-old grandchild the other day on International Dot Day. You guys heard that?
No, what?
You don't see? Lance and I never heard about Dot Day. It's International Dot Day. Celebrated across, and schools are having International Dot Day either today or Monday. I forget when it was. And T-shirts and flags and everything. International Dot Day, not parentheses, not comma, but Dot Day.
Dot Day.
Yeah.
I will leave that to you to Google on the way home.
All right, we will do that.
We don't have a lot of time, but I do want to talk about this 20th anniversary of one of the best projects I've ever seen, and that's the Believe in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Rick, why don't we do it again?
We are.
Are you?
Yeah, we're gonna have an announcement probably sometime in the first quarter of next year. We kept getting all the different people that said we love the ads, we love the posters, but man, it'd be great to have this in a broadcast format. And so, at our celebration party last Thursday, we actually previewed 4 of the ads that we have turned into broadcast spots, and there's a whole. You know, we paid teachers over a summer to take every ad and turn them into lesson plans for 4th graders to teach 4th grade history. A lot of stuff, and it's been 20 years, and it's hard to realize that some people don't remember it or never heard of it. So we're going to reintroduce the whole campaign.
There's going to be a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people. And plus, you got a different vehicle now to rerun some of those.
The internet wasn't around when we were doing this, but since then, I mean, we've followed this, and we've gotten. If you had to go out and buy the publicity and we did this for free. We did it because we wanted to do it and thought it needed to be done, and it has generated about $80 million. And if you had to go buy the same publicity, it'd be about $80 million, and probably $150 million have seen the campaign.
As a native-born Mississippian and on a small farm in the Delta, it's one of the things that it was close to me because I sit here every day and try to defend the state, and I feel like we're being bullied, and it's the same thing as most of the people who are lifelong residents of this state. And then that was one of those things that just said, hey, look, here's why we can be proud of our state.
Yeah, and look, we got an office on in Washington, D.C. on Pennsylvania Avenue 20-some-odd years ago because that helped give us credibility because we were from Mississippi. Now, once we started doing the work and people saw that, it didn't matter where we were anymore because they saw our work and knew it was effective and knew that we were one of the top defense agencies in the country. But you're right. I had so many people, old ladies, write letters and say, this is the proudest moment I've ever had seeing this campaign. So it means a lot to us.
Give me a couple of those. You remember them?
Yeah. One is the first one we did, and Linda Leslie wrote all the copy for all these, was, yes, we can read. A few of us can even write. And, you've got Tennessee Williams, you've got Eudora Welty, William Faulkner, John Grisham.
Morris.
There's been no more, no matter for our size, doesn't matter what the size is, there's been no more Pulitzer Prize winners than there are from the state of Mississippi. Another one was, yes, we wear shoes. A few of us even wear cleats. And you've got Walter Payton, Brett Favre, Ray Guy,
On and on.
On and on. And so that's just it. We wanted to, and nobody's going to see that and change their mind completely about Mississippi.
Where did that idea come from?
It came from sitting on a plane coming back from D.C. with a 12-year-old kid from Connecticut who asked me where I lived, and I said Mississippi, and he said, oh, wow, let me ask something. Do you see the KKK on your streets every day, and do you hate all black people? And I said, what? And he said, yeah, that's what we've been learning in school about the state of Mississippi. We saw all the black and white news footage, and that's the only thing I know about it. And we came back and said, we need to change this. And the only way you can do something like that and do it how you want it is to not get paid for it, and then your idea gets to be the idea that's there. So that's how it started.
And that's not a joke. In 1968, I was in Chicago. And the guys around me, number one, couldn't figure out how an Italian American wound up in the Delta. And they thought I was kidnapped. And number two, they actually thought that just about every home in Mississippi was a shotgun house.
Sure.
and ask me, and I thought they were joking, do they? A lot of people still wear the antebellum skirts.
Yeah.
This was in Chicago. Like their educational level was not any better than ours. Guys, I wish we had more time. Congratulations on the 40th. Looking forward to a reprint of the 20th, and looking for 40 more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for what you do for us, Paul.
You got it, partner. Back with more coming up next.